I should have known better, but love makes you do irrational things. It clouds judgment and makes you blind to consequences. I never believed in all that supernatural crap before, but what happened, what I let happen, changed everything. Lupita's eyes were hollow after the miscarriage. Our baby was gone, and so was her living spirit. It had been months since she last left the bathroom. Her sad, vacant eyes were in a constant quest for hope. Watching her spiral was a torture of its kind. Helplessly devastated, I had tried everything. Therapy, medication, time alone, time together, but nothing could pull her back. I couldn't stand seeing the love of my life wither right in front of me, haunted by the loss of a child we both wanted so desperately. So when Greg mentioned an odd, uncomfortable solution, I hopped on it. You know, Jack, there's this thing, he said hesitantly. I call it a humanized doll. A doll? I deadpanned. Not just any doll. It'll be like the child you were supposed to have. The solution was ridiculous, but a solution nonetheless. In seconds, the order was booked. I'll never forget the day the package arrived. It was a plain brown box, no label, no return address, just sitting on the doorstep like a malignant tumor. My hands shook as I opened it. Inside, wrapped in tissue paper, was a doll so lifelike it made my breath hitch. It had Lupita's soft brown eyes, my sharp nose, and the hint of a smile that was almost too real. When Lupita saw it, the wall cracked. She cradled the doll like it was flesh and blood, cooing to it. For the first time in weeks, I had seen her smile. My heart swelled with relief. Maybe this would help her heal. Little did I know it was the last moment of peace in our house. The first night I woke to find her in the rocking chair, the doll pressed against her chest. I thought it was a good sign. She was talking to it, humming softly, like any mother would. But as the days wore on, it became clear that this wasn't helping. It was something darker, something unexplainably wrong. Very soon, my wife stopped eating, sleeping, or talking. She spent every waking moment with that doll, feeding it, changing diapers. She named it Baby Blue. I didn't understand why, but I didn't dare ask, too afraid of what she might say. But it wasn't until the night she came at me with a knife that I realized how far gone she was. "Stop it, Peta. This ain't real." I snapped, only to watch her face twist into a monstrous snarl I'd never seen before. The woman who lunged at me wasn't my Lupita. She was Baby Blue's mommy, consumed, body and soul. As I stumbled backward, my eyes flicked to the doll, and I froze. Baby Blue's glassy eyes seemed to shimmer with a dark intelligence, and its tiny mouth curled into a sinister grin. The room felt colder. Was she possessed? That afternoon, I decided to stay home and watch. Everything went smoothly until night fell. It must have been around 1 in the morning, and I had just drifted off to sleep when the fire alarm went off. I jolted awake to find the kitchen filled with smoke. Lupita had left a kettle on the stove and completely forgot about it.
He was crying. He has been telling me I'm a bad mother.
She cried, clutching Baby Blue to her chest. My blood ran cold. The doll couldn't cry. It was impossible. But she insisted, her voice rising in pitch, growing hysterical. I tried to snap her out of it, yelling that the doll wasn't real, that it was all in her head, but she wouldn't listen. Her face went pale, and she passed out, cradling the doll like it was a real child. I rang the hospital, and help arrived. It might have been 4 in the morning when a strange noise filled the whole house. It was a sound that made my skin crawl, a faint, muffled cry like a baby. My heart pounded in my chest as I listened, holding my breath. It was coming from the nursery. My hands trembled as I pushed open the door, and there, in the dim light, I saw it. The doll was crying. I stared at it, horror-stricken, as the soft wailing sound filled the room. The doll's eyes, Lupita's eyes, glowed red, tiny pinpricks of light in the darkness. A cold sweat broke out on my forehead as I approached it. My heart raced as I picked it up, and the crying stopped abruptly. My hands shook as I examined it, feeling something hard beneath its synthetic skin. I tore it open, the synthetic flesh giving way under my hands, and found a small black device nestled inside. It was a camera. That means we were being watched this whole time? A sickening realization washed over me as I dug deeper. The people who were spying on us had turned Lupita's life into a twisted form of entertainment. I gathered the evidence, the doll and the camera, and contacted the authorities. We filed charges for invasion of privacy, harassment, and emotional distress. The cybercrime department tried to trace the website, but it led to a block. People who use dark web are masters in hiding and staying in the dark. I was warned strictly for choosing to buy items from the illegal front of the internet. We changed house and phone numbers to stay away from further stalkers. Lupita is still undergoing psychiatric counseling to deal with the loss of our child and the trauma caused by that doll. All I have understood is that grief is the love which has nowhere to go, but we shouldn't let it decide our lives. As long as we're alive, we must keep living. Moving forward is the real meaning of life, no matter how many storms try to knock you down. I got a text from some girl late last night.
Do not click on this link.
It said, it was a shortened YouTube URL. Usually I ignore such messages, but yesterday was a bit rough and I wasn't in the mood to write the novel which I was working on. So I clicked on that link. It redirected me to YouTube where a video about some circus from the 60s in Bombay started playing. Do not forward the video to 2:21 minutes was written in the title. So, of course I did. I shouldn't have done that. At exactly 2:21 seconds, I paused the video. Everything looked quite ordinary. A black and white footage, 3 elephants in the back, a few dwarves ahead, and a bunch of people around. But right in the center was a large drum, on which was written, Comment 13. Curiously, I scrolled down to the comment number 13 in that video, which linked to another YouTube video. I recently started my YouTube channel where I post funny writing advice. The link from that comment took me to my own video, one which I had uploaded 3 days ago. It was an informative video, a rant on the current status of the publishing industry, but right from the start, something was different. It started with a few glitches in the video, and then some random numbers and letters started popping up in it. And then, my voice suddenly grew heavier, and then midway into it, the screen went black. The numbers and letters that were dancing around, they soon converged into a new message. It was my home address. I instinctively shut my laptop and walked out of the room. That was a whole new level of creepy fascination someone could have online. How she got my address, I didn't know. I had no clue as to how she toyed with my video. It should have been impossible. I walked into the kitchen and filled myself a glass of orange juice. When I was back in my room and opened my laptop, I had another message from the same girl.
Hope I didn't scare you.
It read. I wondered if I should reply or not, but I had a bunch of unanswered questions, so I had to ask. I put my orange juice to my side and started chatting with her. How did you know my address? How did you tweet my video? There was no reply for a few minutes, and then I got an image. A rather explicit image of a rather gorgeous woman with a rather voluptuous body. Long, dark hair, white tank top over yoga pants, shades. Screamed the complete Instagram it girl.
What do you think about me?
She texted next, but I couldn't get my eyes off her image, her top in particular. Not staring at the tatas, but there was a symbol in the center of her top which freaked the daylights out of me. It's a symbol I made for the purposes of my novel. The novel isn't published yet. Hell, it isn't even complete yet. I haven't even shared the draft with anyone at this point. Then how the hell did she know the exact symbol and even got it printed on her top? I lost it. I barely abuse girls, but this time my messages started and ended with swears. I need answers. Tell me the answers.
Don't be afraid, babe. It's our little secret.
The fuck it is? Did you hack my computer? I'll go to the police.
Hack a computer? I barely even know how to work PowerPoint.
How do you know my address? How did you get that symbol?
I guess.
You guessed? Nostradamus just rolled in his grave.